My next guest here on Jersey Magazine is Karen Leies. She is the Vice President of Resource Development for the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Karen, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Jim. Thanks for having me.
I was looking at the Community Food Bank's website, and there was a quote that got me. Even as the state reopens, the struggle is far from over. What was the Community Food Bank's biggest challenge up to this point in the pandemic, Karen?
Well, at the beginning of the pandemic, we just dove 150% into emergency response. We reorganized our operations to be a 24/7, activity, and really distribute over 110 million nutritious meals since the pandemic struck last March. So really almost doubled the size and scope of our operations in response to the needs and what we were seeing from New Jersey families and communities all across the country. So with where we are currently as an organization is that the need is not lessening, and it's a little counterintuitive, right? You would think people are getting back to work, we're trying to resume life as we know it, but actually the need is maintaining and increasing these pandemic levels, and we have to continue to respond. We have to continue to keep the public aware and engaged in this fight, especially for children and families and some of our most vulnerable neighbors.
I think with children, a lot of them, when the school is in session, they're getting a good meal a day. They're not in session now, obviously. We're out for the summer for at least a few more weeks. And I think for kids that it becomes even more crucial.
Totally. I mean, since the pandemic started, we've worked with our partners. We don't work in isolation. We have 800 active pantries, soup kitchens, after school programs that converted to be, resources when they couldn't meet, in their traditional ways, Boys and Girls Club, Salvation Army, you name it. We have a ton of partners in communities all across our service area that sprung into action with us. So for a great example of feeding families and children was that when the schools closed, we would normally give our family packs, which is, weekend supplies for over the weekend when school's not in session. We would normally give those out on a Friday to school kids to help supplement the family's needs over the weekend. But we took those family packs and we started giving them out all the time through partners like Boys and Girls Club and other agencies and opportunities, and different counties worked really closely with us too in terms of emergency meal boxes and these family packs and meeting the needs of children and their families where they were. So we distributed nearly 680,000 family packs since COVID started, and we think when schools go back in the fall, we're prepared to double our program and double our efforts because we think it's a great way to reach the need.
There was something else I saw on the Community Food Bank's website. 4 out of 10 people who were coming to you were seeking assistance for the first time. 40%, that's staggering.
It is. I think that a lot of people really needed our help, and we're open to receiving help, which is huge. I think in the past, there's been a lot of stigma and shame around working families, other families needing assistance. And COVID, I think there were so many horrible things that we've been through as a community, but one of the silver linings is that it raised awareness that no one's really immune to this, right? We have hardworking families that really still just need a little extra support by way of food that can make a huge difference in their ability to make it or not make it and feed their families and take care of their children. So that 4 out of 10 that's new to receiving support through our pantry network is a real statistic, and unfortunately we don't see it decreasing anytime soon.
Karen Leies, the Vice President of Resource Development for the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, my guest this morning here on the Jersey Magazine. Karen, what is the level of food insecurity here in New Jersey?
Well, in New Jersey, Jim, 1 million of our neighbors are expected to face hunger this year. That's about 1 in 9 individuals, or 11.7% of our population. So it's pretty significant, and I think when we talk about food insecurity, it's really just not knowing where your next meal is coming from. And there are it's shades of gray with that too. I think there are people and families who struggle with severe low food insecurity. And then there are other families or individuals that have sporadic food insecurity. I mean, it's not all the time, but either way, the emotional and physical toll of the stress of not knowing how you'll feed your children when you wake up in the morning prohibits you from, working and having clear thoughts and being able to do all the other things you need to do to have a healthy, productive life. So if we as an organization can eliminate that barrier, that essential need, and take care of that emergency situation, hopefully it allows people to address their work issues or address their life and get to a stable place for themselves and their family. That's our goal.
I know that the Community Food Bank accepts donations both in cash, and you guys can really make a dollar stretch, as well as food donations. What has the bigger impact for you, the money itself or the food donations, Karen?
Well, we don't turn anything away, obviously. We also have volunteering, which is a tremendous way to give and get involved. But we take $1 of contribution and turn it into 3 meals, which is pretty extraordinary when you think about it. We really leverage our purchasing power with a network of suppliers and other donated products that we receive from retail and the farmers here in New Jersey. And we have so many different avenues of donated product. And then we take those resources and send them to where they're needed most. We see ourselves as a resource allocator. There are enough resources to feed our families. We just have to get them where they're needed most and make sure that the resources that we're providing are nutritious and encourage a healthy, active lifestyle.
One other thing caught my eye on the Community Food Bank's website, and that is the Food Service Training Academy. And I hadn't seen that before. Tell me about that.
Yeah. We not only believe in helping in an emergency capacity to provide food for short-term needs, but we do strongly believe that part of our mission is to facilitate long-term changes for people and allow them to be self-sufficient moving forward. And one way that we do that is through a workforce development program called the Food Service Training Academy, where we accept individuals into a program to learn culinary skills. We train them with social skills, life skills, resume building, financial awareness, and then hopefully place them into wonderful jobs that will then provide for themselves and their families for years to come with these newfound skills. We do have a 93% placement rate, which we're very proud of, because the students in this program, which is a 15-week program, come out with very strong skills. They're Surf Safe certified, which every restaurant or food provider in the state is required to have. So that's another compelling hiring element that they bring. And through 15 weeks, they've really, really learned how to operate in a kitchen environment safely and effectively. So we're very proud of it. We're also, as an organization, looking at how we can expand the reach of workforce development, whether it's warehouse training or other aspects of our work where we can train people so that they are marketable and remove themselves from the food insecurity universe.
Karen Leies, my guest this morning, the Vice President of Resource Development for the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. One of the casualties from COVID was the fact that the Morning Jolt from WDHA wasn't able to go down to the food bank this past year. And I do hope we can come this year, because it's one of my favorite things that we do, to watch how the whole operation works, from volunteers who are coming in to the workers who were there already. And it's a couple of football fields worth, I believe, the size of the warehouse. You do an amazing job, and I hope we're able to get back there this fall, Karen.
You've been so supportive, Jim, and you've really rallied around Students Change Hunger, which is a program, a youth program that we run every year. We're eager for kids to get back in school. This year, the program will start on September 13th, and I encourage any teens or parents of school-aged children who are listening to talk to their school about participating. Schools have a friendly food and fun drive competition, but they learn so much about food insecurity and their community and what they can do to make a difference. They become mini student ambassadors. And I think with everything, awareness is half the battle to solving the problem. So you help us with that by helping us to promote that program and all we do here at the Food Bank. And I really encourage, you can find information about Students Change Hunger or getting involved in virtual or food drives or volunteering with us on our website, which is CFBNJ.org. You can Google Community Food Bank of New Jersey, and that information is readily available about how to get involved, how to help.
And Karen, once again, I hope we're able to get together in the fall for a live broadcast from the Community Food Bank. Once again, the website, CFBNJ.org. Karen Leies, Vice President of Resource Development for the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Thank you for joining us this morning here on the Jersey Magazine and WDHA.
Thank you so much for all you do. Really, really appreciate our partnership. Great to be here.